Hello viewers, I have made few Janko reaction videos and I really like his style of questioning, and YouTube recommended this video to me and I saw a lot of views on this video. I really don't know who is this guy, Jake Paul guy. I just know he's a famous YouTuber, so I decided to watch it and I was just blown away by the depth of the conversation these two men have. So I've decided to make a reaction on this because the things they talk about is what I preach, what I live by, and I am very passionate about this topic. So without further ado, let's get started.
And on the same path that I'm at. I did this thing and I just spoke about this. I hate re-saying things. I feel like I'm being redundant, but this is on the same page as that. If I said something negative to somebody in my head because I was around people that just talked a lot of shit and I became my environment, I trained myself out of it by, if I talk shit about Reed in my head, I would say 3 nice things about Reed. And then in my head, I'd be like, you cannot speak to that man. Just because he cannot hear you doesn't make you less of a man for thinking of that way.
You know what's funny? It's funny that you're practicing this now.
Such a mature thing. Oh my gosh, they're talking about such good topics. So true. Actually, I just went to a meditation retreat and that's what they were talking about. We think thoughts don't matter as long as actions are more important, but everything starts with a thought. So it's very important that our thoughts are pure and positive and at least not evil or negative. Or if we have those thoughts, we should catch ourselves. And how he was saying that what he has implemented, that if he thinks something negative, he automatically has trained himself to think 3 positive things. And I actually found a similar but different exercise somewhere and I started doing it and it helped me so much, and you can try it too. So I'm pretty sure all of you have seen, and I've seen people remember their exes and their ex-partners, their ex-business partners, their ex-lovers, their ex-friends in really bad terms. Most of the time they are either narcissistic or toxic. So instead of remembering them in bad terms, why don't you just remember one of a really good positive quality in them and just try to incorporate it within you. So in all my exes, friends, partners, lovers, I am definitely able to find a extremely positive quality they have and have already tried to incorporate it in my life. It will just change the way you look at them. You will not have that much hatred and animosity towards them either when you start doing it. For instance, one of your ex-friend or ex-partner was very organized and very clean. So you can try to incorporate that habit into your life. So he's saying something similar.
Okay, circling back to you. Okay, so we realize that your surrounding is very important. But how does a man get out of his environment if he loves them? It's hard to get away from your mom when your mom's behaving bad. It's hard to get away from your best friend because in your heart you're taught you never abandon the ones you love. But what happens when the ones you love are the ones that are the weight that keeps you sinking in the water that you cannot breathe in?
Well, you have to make sure you're good first and foremost. If you aren't good as a person, as self, then that's gonna make everyone around you kind of come to your level. And so if you're not good and you're not happy and you're not fulfilled, you can't fill up anyone else's cup.
This is such good advice. That's why I said that the way he thinks is very different and unique. So true. Whenever someone asks me like, how can I deal with toxic or negative people or negative family members or loved ones, because they are there for you. So I always say that there are a lot of ways you can, but one way is that if you are here on the level of growth, if you are very up there, they cannot bring you down. You can bring them up. It is very true. It can happen. You can inspire them. Just become an example. Don't tell them not to be toxic or not to be negative or do these things or do those things. No, just show by your example and become an inspiration for them so they can level up. They can come up to your level too. That's exactly he's saying, and that's so rare that I hear things like that.
You can't fill up anyone else's cup, not your mom, not your dad, not your brother, not your sister. And so that calling inside of me, I wasn't good. I was like, I need to live life. I'm not meant to be in this box. And I had to jump out of the bird's nest and fly. And at the end of the day, your parents are adults.
That's very true. I just like feel really sad when I see kids being pressured by their parents to live a certain way or to choose a certain career path, choose a religion, or to choose anything, just like parents forcing them their own beliefs. Because everyone has their own path in life. Kids have their own path. Just because they are your kids doesn't mean you should be forcing them to live a certain way. So what he's saying that he just broke free, that's the most smart thing to do. Like, it is your life. Even if your family doesn't approve your choices, if you believe in them, you should definitely live the life you want to live, because it is your journey and your life. It is not theirs. And they just don't know. Other people don't know what you want, what your passions are. Only you know what's here and what's here. No one else does.
And guess what? They did. They'll be perfectly fine. And I don't know if I'm answering the right question.
No, you're answering it perfectly.
But basically, at some point, it's okay to be a little bit selfish when you're younger, and you have to figure out how to make yourself happy and how to find your purpose and to fulfill your dreams. And if your parents didn't do that and they are clearly unhappy, divorced.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was saying. So it's okay to be selfish and watch out for yourself. Our parents, I think 40s, 50s, 60s, usually they are still very independent. I think after 80, they really need us. So being there for them and be a support for them is different than being pressured by them. So definitely you should be there for them. You should support them, but don't change your choices or your passions or your lifestyle just because they want you to do certain things.
Credit to Susie, who's life coach, therapist for me, but it takes work. It's like being in the gym. It's no different.
So true. That's what I tell my clients too, that it's not an overnight fix and there are no shortcuts. Someone cannot give you an answer. A lot of time my patient asks me, like, why is this? How can I do this? So it's just not that easy. No one can give you an answer and you do that and all your emotional problems get fixed. It's a lot of inner work that you have to do, just like gym. And then growth happen, and it's definitely worth it.
How come we don't spend time like working on emotional intelligence and working on understanding ourselves and growing as a person? And so I think for 9 months straight, maybe, I was speaking with Susie every night for about an hour to 2 hours, just learning myself and just uncovering things and identifying it. And that's the first step.
The first step is being aware of what you need. A lot of time I say things and people would say, no, this is not true. Like, a lot of people don't even understand projection. So the retreat I went to, and according to psychology too, like every issue we are having, we think it's an outside issue. That person looked at me differently. I didn't get that job. But it's never an outside issue. It's always an inside issue, because we suppress all of our issues. We suppress it, we repress it in our subconscious, in our unconscious, and we are not even aware of it. We just don't deal with those difficult emotions, and they are just suppressed and repressed. I shouldn't be saying there, because it's like more of our unconscious mind, and that's why people are not aware of them. But when you do inner work, those emotions slowly and gradually they surface, and then you can face them, and then they can get resolved. You can let them go, and that's how growth happens. The more baggage you have, the more unhappy that person will be.
Feelings and work on things that you bury, what's the worst part of like getting yourself out there with another person? Is it a humiliating standpoint? Is it like, do you have to fully surrender? What does it look like for a man that's in recovery of his mind?
He said recovery of mind, I would say like to purify your mind. That's what all inner work is, purifying your mind. You'll feel light. And I will share what are the benefits or what are the fruits you are going to eat after you work on it. And it happens very quickly. You'll start noticing changes very quickly.
100 steps back, and you're creating more work for yourself, and you're getting kicked to the bottom of the hill, and you have to retrain all your default settings and it takes a lot of time.
That is very true when he said that you are going back, because a lot of time you have to be emotionally and mentally stable to handle any kind of very deep therapy or deep inner work, because it can be scary at first, because those emotions can come up. Everything that you have suppressed and repressed in your unconscious mind, they can come up, and then you have to deal with them. So you have to be stable enough. If someone is very unstable, it's not something they should do. So just be prepared to do a lot of inner work, but it's definitely worthwhile.
Getting yourself out there with another person, is it a humiliating standpoint? Is it?
I would say definitely trust is very, very major. You have to have a therapist you really trust and have a very good rapport with them, because you're so vulnerable, so open, and you're just sharing some very intimate, deep moments. So that's crucial.
You stand firm and being like, okay, well, damn, like there's more work to do. Besides having your work ethic that you're blessed with, how does a man that doesn't have your work ethic achieve these goals without being afraid and running away from them?
I think it's life. That's life. You need the adversity. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. The work to make yourself better is what makes it so much sweeter when you get to that point. The reward that's waiting for you on the other side. It's like if everything in life was a treasure hunt to find the gold, then everybody would work on themselves. And because it's a fun, we're going through the jungle, we're going to encounter all these problems, but we're going to get the gold inside the cave, and we're looking at the map, and it's amazing, and this is a fun, cool Outer Banks story. But it's no different. You know, there's gold waiting for you in terms of who you are as a person when you can figure those things out, fix some of those problems, start to change into that man, and life will start to become so much sweeter, and all the things you have wanted will come to you so much faster.
Yeah, sweet is the word, because once you start doing inner work, you will do things like you don't even think you are capable of doing, and life becomes just easier, sweeter, more peaceful. You start becoming nicer, and he'll talk about it too.
All else is what people should look forward to. Like,
So
even
have
if
faith that it's going to take you to a better place.
you don't even need to have faith. It's going to.
Some of the things he said, confirming that he has done all the inner work, because only the person who has done deep inner work can say something like this, because you really don't need faith. It will happen. When you do that inner work, when you try to purify your mind and try to deal with all those repressed and suppressed emotions, life is just going to get better and easier from there on. And not only like you will be at peace and you'll be happier, things will start working in your favor too.
Certain.
Yeah.
So like,
Certain faith, yeah.
it's like,
Would
if
you-
I do this work and I become better, and I work with someone to identify these problems, and I go into these spiritual ceremonies and want to integrate and come out better, then it's certain that life will be sweeter, because I'm a testament to that. It's like I went 100 steps backwards and then took all of those steps and then leaped.
So he's mentioning spiritual ceremonies, and he will mention ayahuasca too. So there are a lot of ways you can go to your unconscious mind. You cannot go it through your logical mind, because you've just completely buried all those things inside. It's also called shadow work, like your shadow, the parts of yourself that you don't want to face. And it can be very scary at first. So psychedelics, ayahuasca is one of the psychedelics, psilocybin is too. So they are becoming really big in psychiatry when they are used in a clinical or a therapeutic setting, not as like a drug. And it is coming, it is the future, because it is shown some very promising results, because that will bring your unconscious to surface. Your conscious and logical mind will go in the background, and your unconscious mind will come to surface, and you'll have no choice but to deal with it. And that's why those ceremonies can be so frightening for people, because they have to deal with their shadow self. Other ways you can do is therapy. Therapy is a very slow process if you only, but some people are just not very stable enough to do anything deeper than that. So therapy is good too, but it is a much slower process. If you really want to go into the depth, you can try hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is really a good. Meditation, excellent. Meditation is a very excellent way to purify your mind. Yoga, breath work, he'll mention breath work too. Breath work is a great way to get to your unconscious or subconscious mind and to resolve all those things that you don't need. You need to clear all those things from your unconscious mind. And that's how you can purify your mind. It can show, it's like I can see people and I can just tell if they've worked on themselves or not. He's going to talk more and then I'm going to share too.
Have become is what protected them through all of those situations. And so they don't want to change because they're scared of what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And so this is all they've known their whole life, and their default setting has now gotten them to what they think is this safe place.
Very true, because unknown can be really scary. And when we, even if it's dysfunctional, but it's known, it's just comforting and it's soothing. And that's why some people just stay in the same pattern, same habits, spend their whole life doing the same thing because it's comfortable.
Be scary for him because he has kids, right? So like you say when you started at the age of like 25, you started this? Or how old were you when you started the life coach?
Life coach like 25. But I think what was the predecessor to that was breath work, which that was like 22.
But what I was circling is that if you were 25 when you realized, okay, I thought there was 5 problems, but there's 50 problems.
And that's why young people, if they start young, it's definitely better because they will start living their life the right way. So it will just help them.
Successful, quotation marks, because that's also a problem that we're calling him this even. And it's because as a society, we're conditioned to think people are successful off of their bank account and their follower count versus their happiness account and their love count. And it would be so bizarre if how society would change if you saw the monk in the woods and the main thing that mattered in this world was love and happiness,